fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no, no, no. We don't have to fight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Just Chill with Oliver George. This is episode 71, and as you can probably tell by my attire, it's a cannabis episode. That's right. In the studio, I have two badass bud-slinging business owners. How's that for alliteration? But before we get into it, I want to remind you, if you're watching this on YouTube right now and you would prefer an audio-only version, you can get that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other places like that. If you're listening and you could leave a review, that would be really much appreciated. If you didn't know there was a visual side to the show, though, please come check it out on YouTube. And if you would subscribe, again, really, really appreciated. If you want to reach out to me, maybe you've got a cool guest idea or some general feedback about the show, you can hit me up at justchillpodcasting@gmail.com. And while you're there, let me know if you'd like one of these holofoil stickers of the show, and I'll send you one free of charge. Back to the guests. I'm very excited to be hanging out with you guys, and let's just introduce you.
Awesome.
It's Ming SAAD and Sarah Rath. You guys are opening a new recreational cannabis store here in Ottawa.
Exactly.
Called the Rabbt Hole.
Yep.
So
RABBT.
this is the first thing I wanted to ask you guys about. Where is the I? Did someone just get high and forget, and then you were like, we're committed at this point?
Yeah, exactly. It's like this. It's like
Kinda,
a Skidoo story.
Yeah, a Skidoo story. We wanted to take the vowels out, and then finally we decided to put one in just because we're weird.
Yeah. There's no I in rabbit.
There's no I in rabbit.
Well, hole should have the vowel because you
Yeah.
can do something with the hole, make like a portal or something.
Spoiler alert.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you, this is an Alice in Wonderland theme, sort of inspired at least.
Yeah, definitely a part of it.
Yeah, it's definitely Alice in Wonderland. We're trying to pay homage to it, but not too much.
Yeah, it is the rabbit hole theme.
Yeah.
Are you going to have the caterpillar with the hookah somewhere in the...
Possibly.
All right, I'm very
We
excited
are
to see
looking for
this.
some
Because you can go down so many rabbit holes. It's not just Alice in Wonderland, right?
Exactly.
So
True.
paying
Yeah.
homage to the mini
more of a
rabbit
metaphor.
holes. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is opening. This episode should be going up the day before you guys are set to open. It's on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
We were hoping.
We're hoping to open on the 22nd, but there's a few bumps in the road, so within the next couple of weeks we'll be open for sure.
Well, as everyone knows, downtown Ottawa is a real shit show right now.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of closer to like the bridge right before Vanier, right? I was
Yeah,
looking this up.
we're a little bit, is it east? Heading towards Vanier? Yeah, we're just after King Edward in Lower Town. So,
Yeah.
2-minute drive from
Away
Vanier
from the
as-
ruckus right
Away
now.
from the
Yeah.
ruckus. It hasn't been too difficult for us to get to Ottawa because we're on the Quebec side. We're living there.
Oh, okay.
But we've had to take a couple of detours. Well, I don't know about you. I think you're fine where
Yeah, there's
you're
been
at.
sometimes I couldn't come, but
Yeah, but I had to detour. It's so long. But it's okay. It's been fine.
There
We're
used to be
lucky.
a head shop really close to
I
there.
think it's
There
right.
still is,
I think
I
they're
used to buy
still there.
salvia there.
Yeah, they're still there. They're
Oh
still
my God,
up and running.
salvia.
I went to go buy papers there the other day because I ran out. But yeah, there's still
yeah,
there.
there's a sex shop there, a quickie. It's
There's a
really
homeless
great corner.
shelter.
Fun neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a really good neighborhood. Like it's Lower Town. So anybody who knows Ottawa knows Lower Town right now. They're
Beaucoup de cacata.
gentrifying the
Yeah.
area. But also we have so many different businesses where beside like a sex shop, we have the homeless shelter, the drop-in. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it is a safe injection site as well.
Oh, wow.
So and we have a bunch of food around.
yeah.
So a lot
Lots
of
of
munchies
shawarma.
for us to
And you
try
guys aren't
around.
quite in Vanier, so...
No, we're not quite. We're just a little bit before, so on the border of Vanier and Lower Town, I guess.
So here's a question for you. I'm from Montreal, and that not quite in Vanier. What's the deal with Vanier? Do people? Everyone's
not
like
from
ooh,
Ottawa, but
Vanier. I'm
How do you
like,
put that
what?
in? I mean, Vanier is just known as being one of the shit neighborhoods where you're, going to see a lot of junkies, which I learned is actually an offensive term. So addicts, let's say, as well as just like sketchy ass people. Yeah, it's just
Have you
kind
ever
of
driven like on Montreal Road, like just
Yeah.
after the store?
Yeah, I've been to the Value Village.
you
or
paid
the,
attention to the-
Salvation Army there and stuff? I'm also from Montreal, so
Fair
Last
enough.
time I drove through there, I went to some birthday party and my kids came because it was like a family friendly thing at an arcade place or a video game place or whatever. And we saw a man with no nose. So that was the kind of thing
Wow.
you see in Vanier. Like he just had no nose.
Whoa.
My
No
children
nose.
were, I mean, I feel very bad for the guy. I'm sure it was cancer or something,
Yeah.
but it somehow fit in Vanier, if that makes
interesting.
sense.
So Vanier is like the Hochelaga.
And Vanier used to be a city, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like the Vatican. It was sort of 1 square mile.
Interesting.
The city of
Interesting.
Vanier.
Like the Vatican.
I like how this
So-
went
I
from
love
like
that.
junkies to like Pope. You
That's
know?
it.
The Vatican? Out of all the...
Well, it's the other 1 mile city that I
Well, this
1
is
square mile
kind of
city, I
actually a
know.
perfect segue because you just said you were from Montreal, but I know you're not.
I'm not
You're actually
really
from
from
South Porcupine.
Yes.
which-
There's no East Porcupine.
So, but
before you
like you were saying with Vanier, South Porcupine, yeah, of course.
cool.
South Porcupine is sort of like a ward of Timmins.
Yes.
And they were all amalgamated in the 70s to become a larger Timmins. So that was kind of like what we had here with Vanier and Gloucester and
Well, that's what
Nepean,
happened
where
with
we are
Gatineau
now.
as well, because I'm from Elmer, and they put like 5 cities all together. But we take really big offense if somebody asks me where I'm from and they say Gatineau. I'm like, I'm from Elmer.
Get
An
it
AY
right.
person. Elmer is a very stoner town. Are saying if you're a stoner is AY stay high. Like that's their thing. So I'm like, I'm not from
You heard it
Gatineau.
here first, kids.
I did want to kind of ask you about South Porcupine, though, because it was apparently it's named after an island in a river that looks like a porcupine.
Yeah, that's the rumor. I
Have you
haven't
seen this island or no?
No, I have not seen this island. We have Porcupine Lake. It is, I think, the filthiest lake in the world. The only thing that comes out of it are like 3-headed fish, like from the Simpsons.
Yeah, Blinky.
Assistance?
Yeah, like nobody's allowed to swim. We have a beach. Some people are brave enough to put their kids in it, and then they go on to live to be 1,000. But yeah, no, and there's no porcupines. I never have seen a porcupine in South Porcupine.
Yeah, I want to
Not
see this
even
island.
one?
I haven't. People have told me they have. I've never
hike.
seen a porcupine in Porcupine.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's because there was an island that apparently looked like a porcupine. So I don't know that anyone was ever claiming there were actually porcupines, but
Interesting.
who knows? Well, it sounds like a really small place. It was population 3,500, but I can only imagine it was probably even smaller when you were growing up.
Honestly, I think probably that was a census that happened like within the last 5 years. I used
okay.
to tell people no one ever came to count us. So we don't know how many people we are.
not worthy of the count.
There wasn't
Yeah.
that little sign when you drive into South Porcupine
Yeah.
population.
Population tire.
Population tire. I love it.
That was a strong bad reference, but whatever.
I didn't get it, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm already high. So what is the coolest thing about that place, in your opinion?
Probably this ice fishing.
I've never done that.
Ice fishing?
I would
Do you
say
ice fish a lot?
when you're young, I mean, it's not really about ice fishing. It's about taking your huts on your skidoo and you drive out to the ice where parents can't find you, and you park all your skidoos in a circle and you make a little fire and you can go in the ice huts and hang out. It's just like a block party on the ice.
That's like a bush party. It's like
Yeah.
your winter version of a bush party.
Yeah. And then if people find you, you can just drive somewhere else.
You're like, bye.
Relocate. Yeah, I've never gone ice fishing. It always seemed kind of cool, other than the cold part, I guess. But
I've never caught anything
cold.
ice fishing, so I don't know what that's like.
I'm very ready for this fucking winter to be over, man.
We're
I'm getting
almost
to that
there.
point. Yeah,
We're almost there.
I know we had this mild weather come in last night, and it was like, yes, I can smell you,
The
spring.
hope.
I
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yes.
I disassociated in 2019. I haven't come back, so
You're like,
I don't even know
whatever.
what the season is right now.
Seasons come and go.
Yeah, that's so true, man. Pandemic has screwed up the timeline for everybody.
Yeah, it's really messed up just everything because then we're like in lockdown and then we can't do anything and then it's cold.
I was talking to someone about when weed was legalized yesterday, and we're trying to remember. and-
2018.
Yeah, I thought it was 2017, but regardless, it
October,
feels like
yeah.
it was 10 years ago.
I know,
Like,
it's
I
crazy.
couldn't believe that shit.
And the way the industry
crazy.
has changed
It
in
just-
just a small amount of time. Like we just went down to Las Vegas for the MJ Biz in October, and I went to California in 2018, and just seeing the maturity of the market in 3 years is
Amazing.
unbelievable.
So let's talk about that then, because I actually had a question for you guys. I wanted to know what you thought were some of the current trends in the cannabis field that are especially innovative to you. And to piggyback on that, what do you hope to see in the future in the cannabis industry?
That's a great question.
Thank you. You
Damn.
can take either part or you can both
Give me a
answer
minute
both.
So,
No,
I mean, one of the
it's-
trends that I'm going to talk about on behalf of the Rabbit Hole
Mm-hmm.
is that, it is dominated still by flower, but it seems like people are moving more towards edibles, drinks, and pre-rolls.
Yeah.
People are getting lazy. They don't want to roll their joints
Convenience,
anymore.
yeah.
Lazy
Yeah.
or health conscious as well because
True.
like smoking joints, and shout out to Raheem from Hybrid Farm because he always says this: combustion is definitely not the best form of ingesting cannabis.
It's not the most efficient to
it
get your
isn't.
THC either.
It is not because
No.
we burn away so much of our THC.
Yeah, vaping is
and
much better.
So the fact that Sarah says like it's nice that people are moving to different methods of consumption, whether it's edibles, topicals, or vaping it with a vaporizer, which is even better than smoking joints.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see that, and we also have access to so much more information pre-legalization. So, you know, in terms of terpenes or different compounds, like CBN is very popular right now. People are learning more about it, and CBD and also THC, and understanding what they do and do without each other in one.
I'm waiting for the THCV to take off.
To the THC what?
THCV.
What's that? Oh, THCV. I was like, wait.
Which is okay.
Yeah,
you guys are
tell us more about
definitely
this.
The
Are
insiders
we
with
speaking
this,
like
'cause
different? We're speaking a different lingo. No.
I know CBD like everyone else. I have heard of, what was the other one?
CBN.
CBN. I've
I'm
heard
still
of these other
reading
ones,
about
but-
it, because,
Yeah.
We are not medical professionals.
No, and we are not. Yeah, so do not take any medical professional advice from us.
We're just
but,
two stone girls.
Yeah. What else? It's Do you have anything else to add to that, Sarah? And what's nice?
Things that
to
are
see?
really
Things that I'd like to see change. Make better pre-rolls. Please,
Yeah.
industry. Make
Yeah, some of them
better
are shit.
pre-rolls.
Very-
They just don't pull. You spend like $10 on a joint and then you get a third down.
I've had the
It won't
occasional
pull.
good one where I was like, wow, this burned a really long time. But a lot of them are loose and shit's falling out of them right as soon as
Yeah.
you open it up.
Literally.
I like rolling joints too. I've always considered that part of the ritual. I guess that comes with being good at rolling joints because some people are terrible. But
Yeah. Usually we like what we're good at.
I love rolling joints. But when I go to the store, I really prefer to buy the pre-rolls.
really,
There's just something about it. I don't like it. Makes me. It's like I'm going to the store. Might as well buy the product.
isn't there a markup on
It's
pre-rolls
finished.
though?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
But
see,
I'm just
that's
like at
where
that
I'm
point.
like,
I'm like
eh.
I'm going to the store. Might as well get it pre-rolled. That's where my lazy stoner vibes kick in a
yeah.
sense.
I've also jumped on that.
But
that
there's
bandwagon.
nothing more therapeutical to me than rolling a joint, just crumbing it, busting it up, taking the stems out
Yeah.
of it.
For
and
me, I think
grinding
it's
it.
also like when I carry on the flour and I've got my grinder with me and I got my papers with me, and if I'm missing something, now I got to find a dep. You know, like it's also just the convenience to be able to open it up. It doesn't smell as much. You know,
Oh, if
you've got
I'm
it on your
going out
person.
like to a comedy show or like a music show or whatever, and I'm out for the night, then we buy pre-rolls for sure.
Yeah, because it's just already done.
But
It's
at
already
home,
made.
it's like, how long does it take me to roll a joint? Like 30 seconds?
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
minute, maybe?
If you have
Exactly.
all the proper tools, it literally will
exactly.
take you 30
Yeah.
seconds to do it.
And are you guys grinder? I'm like a finger buster. I
I
don't even
use
use a grinder.
scissors.
I like
I'm
to
scissors all the
peel
way.
it. Scissors.
I've
Okay.
changed
Never-
throughout the years. Used to finger bust.
Grinders
then I use
always get all
scissors.
jammed up eventually.
I have two grinders that I use that they do the job for me the way I like it. I like the Medtainers. I don't know if you've ever used those. They're just
Don't
it's-
think so.
you can keep your cannabis in it at the same time. You can pre-roll them, but it's a stash jar and a grinder at the same time.
Oh, okay, where it's got like a compartment
Yeah,
on top.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
plastic one. It's super.
Those are cool.
Super easy, and it's very convenient, especially when you're out and about and you're like, shit, I don't have any more joints left. Just bust one up really quick and.
That's why I really
it.
liked those. Like before legalization, there was a lot of those dispensaries that were kind of in the gray zone, which you worked at. I know
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up in a
Yes,
bit.
I did.
But even Friends were selling those little preloaded pens with the oil that you could
Yeah.
just vape, and those were so convenient. I got to say, they were way overpriced, but just being able to like wherever you're
Just
at,
puff
kind of
quickly.
toot, get a little hit, and it was
you're good.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's perfect just to keep you going a little like.
You guys actually, I guess we should finish that. What do you guys hope to see in the future?
For me in the cannabis
You kinda
in the
touched on that,
industry,
yeah.
I really want to see lounges be a thing. I think
yeah.
those are extremely important,
Yes.
especially how the laws are written right now. There are a lot of people that, will say they're renting or whatnot. They can't smoke inside, or they can't even smoke outside of the property within like a certain amount of like meters. And some people are medical too. So that sucks for some medical patients where they don't have any place to consume it. Therefore, it doesn't make the law applicable at all.
Especially if you have like winter and it's like minus
it's
40
minus
or
40.
whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
you think I'm going outside to smoke my joint in a minus 40? No, I've taken different measures so that it doesn't smell too much in my apartment. But like, it's
I think this is maybe an Ottawa thing though, because like
Quebec,
Toronto,
forget about it. Toronto, they
I've gone to
have
weed
some.
rooms where I'm watching a comedy show and
Yeah.
everyone's smoking
Everybody's
inside.
smoking.
Nobody cares. Mike Rita's one of the
That's
guys
it.
who runs.
Yeah.
Fucking,
We can name
can't
some.
remember what his is called. but-
There's numerous. Like there's what there's like there was Vape Central. They closed down during the
think that was his
pandemic.
show.
Unfortunately, that was such a amazing spot. That was like the first lounge that I ever went to, and I felt at home because I don't drink.
Yeah. I was
So,
going to say,
I don't have any, like, I'll go with my friends to the bar and I'll have like my Coke or my Pepsi and chill with them, or maybe a mocktail. But the fact that there's lounges where I can go smoke weed and I can bring my laptop and just chill
Yeah.
like I'm at a coffee shop and get
Yeah,
high
yeah.
and work, that's ideal. So I really hope that we can get lounges. I'm sure it's in the works right now. I've asked a few lawyers here and there, like if they're working on changing regulations in the law, it's going to happen. But I think the biggest hurdle right now in Ontario is the Smoke Free Act.
yeah.
Like we had
of
the hookah
course.
lounges that stayed open and they would just like close down, open under another name or something, and get fined by bylaw. But now we're talking about cannabis, and it's still very much of a stigma. So we need lounges. Like that's
Yeah,
my biggest
people are
thing.
going to just say, well, why can't I smoke a cigarette inside then? You know? And obviously, I think cigarettes are full of so
I
much
get it,
more
you know?
nasty shit than
100%.
well-grown cannabis, you know?
That's it.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the argument for people who don't smoke weed, and they're like,
if
well,
you-
smoke is smoke or whatever, you know? There's going to be someone saying that.
We just need to get
100%.
like a top floor place and install like.
No, you make sure you got a
Something
good
sucks all
ventilation
the-
system in there. Like it's
Exactly.
fine. Like I've been to Vape Central, and I've been to. There's a couple other ones. I don't know if I should name them because they're kind of,
Yeah.
one of
Don't do
those.
it.
And,
Snitches
these
get
are safe
stitches.
spaces for people as well. So there's a couple in Toronto that I do go to, and they have great ventilation systems. Everybody can either smoke joints, smoke bong, dab,
Yep.
but we're not allowed to smoke blunts in there.
Because of the
So
tobacco.
because it's tobacco.
Mm.
A lot of people in Toronto smoke blunts. Like it's a thing. That's a culture in Toronto. And there's some space you can't smoke blunts, which is fine because I get it's tobacco. So just go
I don't
outside
care for
quickly.
blunts.
Love
if I'm
blunts.
being honest.
That's like my poison, but
Love
I'm
a blunt.
good.
They burn the shit out of my throat. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
your body being like, hey, you're smoking a cigar. You know you're not supposed to inhale that shit. Like that's what your brain's telling you. And also, at least when I was younger and people would roll it and pass it around, they always got so wet.
Yeah.
And I just like don't know why, but the brown material, the
Sloppy.
tobacco, whatever, it just gets nasty. And
Those are one of those, like, there's a couple of people I share my blunts with, but other than that,
we were
that's
talking about
exactly
this
why I
in
know.
the other podcast a few days ago because like COVID especially, now you think like, I can't believe I used to just share joints with people I would like meet at a party.
That's it.
I still
It's
will.
true.
I will still share my joint with you.
Well, you hopefully you assess the person at least to
course.
make sure
You
they don't
can't
look like
assess
a
it.
crackhead or
You
something.
can't assess
But when
a
COVID
virus.
started, no, my friends and I wouldn't share joints just out of
discriminate.
like, just to make sure. Because like we do have like, I had like my family, my
Oh, that's
niece and
very
my
smart.
nephew. And then also like, and even then, like in
Also
normal
pinners.
times, I don't share joints with people that I don't know if I go to a party at
Yeah,
all.
same here.
I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know who
I
you
don't know
are.
your
And
shit.
I'll give you a joint, gladly give you a joint, and we can smoke one together. But I
Exactly.
will not give you a puff of my joint if I do not know
That's
who
the
you are.
Then don't
diplomatic
touch my
way
joints.
to
Yeah.
handle that shit.
I pass my joint to everybody.
Seriously.
One of my favorite
So it's
things.
like, what is the kids when you tell them, do not talk to strangers and take candy? So I'm just like, ooh, stranger with candy.
Yeah, literally. If
I
I'm
actually
at
know
a,
this stranger. He's got the best candy.
good.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to touch on something you guys were mentioning about like we're not doctors. Kelly actually gave me this question because I've had that experience where you go talk to a bud tender and be like, so what do you think of this strain? They're like, we're actually not allowed to.
We're not
tell
allowed
you,
to.
So
We
do
are
you think
not
that's
allowed
something that
to.
should change or do you think that's appropriate given
Oh,
that
I
like
mean,
you don't
like
have a medical
we're
license?
not allowed to give you medical advice, but I can tell you which strains I like to smoke for things that happen to me.
Exactly. Like that's
Exactly.
a
You know what I
personal
mean? Like
experience.
I can tell you what common
Yeah.
like things are smoked by people of that palate. You know.
Yeah, like if someone
I just can't give you medical advice.
No.
if someone buys something medical-ish on Amazon and leaves a review, like that's not against the rules, and they're not
But by
certified.
law, like if we'll
guess
say
you're
that we
trying to
get
sell
like
it.
a what are they called? The mystery customers, and they come in and they ask us this, we could potentially like
Yeah, we
get
get
in
in
trouble
big
for it.
trouble.
Good shopper, yeah.
straight up. We
Yeah.
can potentially get in trouble. I do wish that it could change. I hope that we can get trained. You know, get these classes. We have to take this
Yes, that'd be
class
cool.
called a CanCell. Everybody who sells cannabis within Ontario needs a CanCell, which is the equivalent to your Smart Serve if you're a bartender or you whatever.
A registration.
Yeah,
of some
exactly.
kind, yeah.
So you have to go through this little class. It's a couple of hours. It's a little certificate. But then you also have a lot of classes where people have been taking those extra classes called the sommelier classes for cannabis. They're not giving you medical help, but you're just learning more in terms of the plant and so many other.
The
The plant is so
cannabinoid system.
complex, right? But I hope that we can get some training in terms of giving people a little bit of medical advice. But I'm always going to say, whether you consume cannabis medicinally or recreationally, at the end of the day, you're getting the medicinal benefits. And that's what it is. And I feel that we should have at least that information. But now it's been legal for what, like 4 years? 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
4 years. We're getting more information. We're having more scientific research done, and we have access to that. So hopefully, because we have access to it, we can be like, hey, this is the study that I read. You can check that, but I'm not giving you medical advice. And so we can't give people medical advice.
Well, it's hard too because, like most drugs, everybody's so different.
different.
Yeah.
We're not most drugs, but at least like psychedelics or like
Or
recreational
even
drugs.
or even gluten.
Well, all our
Just
metabolism.
things you put in your body. I mean,
Our
like, everybody's
metabolisms
body
are-
reacts to things differently. Right?
So true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our metabolisms are also different. So I'll react
Yeah.
one way to edibles, and you'll react the other way to it.
Yeah.
Well,
We
and
feel
I've
really
learned
different.
you can change over the years too because I've had like my 30s has been sort of an up and down of going through periods where I can smoke like the same way as when I was a teenager, and then these periods where I'm like, whoa, I need to bring my THC levels way down.
Right.
And then I'm doing like mango haze and shit like that. That's like, those are my favorite strains these days. Like smoking
Just
in
the
the
light
morning.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, 10% THC, 10% CBD. Maybe throw a little something stronger in, but like I like that as a baseline in my stuff usually.
It helps.
Maybe just getting older. I've heard a lot of people in their 30s have a similar, you know, more anxiety sometimes.
I just came back from California too, and oh my God, the percentages of THC are so much higher. I got to forget how to walk again. It was great. And we can't get that in Canada. So it's,
there's a lot we can't get up here, right? This is a question I wanted to ask you guys as well, was with the edible stuff. When I got COVID,
no.
I didn't want to vape and smoke while I had COVID. Obviously, I didn't want to mess up my lungs any more than they might be, you know?
Yeah.
So we got my parents to drop off some edibles, and everything was like 10 milligrams.
That's the max.
That's
for the
max.
whole bag.
I know. So you'd have to spend $100 to get high.
And eat a lot of chocolate or shit that I probably shouldn't be eating that much.
You're gonna have to
Absolutely.
buy like 10 packs of it. Like
Yeah.
But you can get like powders, and you can get different ways of consuming it that's not candy too, right? Like there's
True.
Come
The
on
oils
down
and
to the
stuff,
Rabbit Hole and we'll
But I
show
want to
you
get the
some
candy bar that's
yeah, you
like
wanna
50
eat-
milligrams or whatever and get...
if
yeah.
you're
You
sick,
know.
you might as well eat some, treat yourself to a little bit
Exactly.
of stuff.
Watching a
Yes.
movie, have some gummy bears or whatever. but-
Exactly. No, but the limit on the edibles is definitely an issue. But hopefully,
But
it gets
also
higher.
edibles. When legalization was happening,
No.
what's happening? Oh, we got munchies. Oh, that's
Gummy
funny.
bears, man.
Gummy bears.
Sorry to cut you off. But
No, it's all good.
These are like gourmet gummy bears.
They're not infused, right?
Real?
No, they're just
Okay,
like
I'm like
candy.
real.
It's just
gummy
like-
bears
Either way,
or-
if they were, I would totally.
They
eat
do
some.
have gelatin if you're vegan, unfortunately.
No, we.
I'm like a, I don't know, pescatarian, I guess.
You like
What
that.
do you feel like it? I guess.
Well, like I don't eat a lot of meat, but I'm not gonna die on the gelatin hill,
If
you
they,
know?
yeah. Fair
Right.
enough. Fair enough.
like-
Fair
Die on
enough.
the gelatin.
Some horse hooves, I can maybe get my head around that, but I don't want like a big bloody steak. Like I'm that guy.
Okay.
I'm somewhere,
Right.
I eat fish sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're flexitarian.
Yeah, I guess. I probably shouldn't eat gummy bears in the mic. That's going to sound really gross for the audio only
You could
listeners.
probably use
What is
that
it?
sound for something else at one point.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, record it and
ASM.
keep it as a sound bite. If someone's ever like being boring, like a guest, you just play me chewing.
Yeah, that's it.
Instead of crickets.
And then anybody who has misophonia.
We have crickets, I think.
Yeah, and anybody who has misophonia is going to be like, I had this. Or you could use it for like ASMR stuff.
There's the
You know?
crickets.
That's extra cool when you're high, I gotta say. The sound effects, we don't use them often, but when I'm getting high and doing recording,
Yeah. You
just
could really
pops.
fuck with us right now. Just
yeah, really.
I feel like, am I too high right now?
Sounds more like birds, actually.
Yeah.
What was
No, we
that?
think it's our phone. Everybody check
Oh, that
your
was
phone.
someone's phone. I thought, okay. I wanted to know if you guys, speaking of safe injection sites, where do you stand on full legalization of all drugs like has been done in some countries?
Obviously.
I'm for it. I'm definitely for it. Obviously, first step would be decriminalizing it. I think
think
that
it
would help
is.
a lot. It would just help in so many different areas within our country.
But should there be any limits? Like, can someone come do bath salts? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
where do we draw the line with stuff where we're like, okay, well, this is blatantly
They're going to
horrible
do
for
it
you.
anyway.
I see it in terms of if you're gonna that's why I say
eat someone's
decriminalize.
face.
Maybe not fully legalize everything,
Actually-
but decriminalizing, because it's like, well, say somebody gets caught with a little bit of certain drugs
Coke
that's
or
illegal,
whatever.
coke or
Yeah, yeah.
shrooms or whatever. At least you're not putting them through the court system and
Yeah, 'cause
getting them
jail
in
fucks
trouble.
them.
Jail will
Yeah.
fuck your shit up. I mean, like, it's happened to me where like I thought I was like, all my shit's gonna like go, like I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be on my record or something. But it was fine because it was just simple possession. But just your first offense or something, that's scary because you can't travel to certain countries or you can't get certain
You're
jobs.
flagged.
And just
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
like you were young and you
That's
did
sketch.
something dumb, but then now it's legal. Like that was what, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's legal. I've had so many friends who have been to jail for cannabis possession
And mushrooms is the next
because
one.
they've
for
had
sure.
exactly.
is.
Well, it's,
Well,
I think it is.
they just announced-
medical, legal, medicinally now in Canada.
I
if
knew
I'm
like
not
Colorado
mistaken.
and California, I think, had recreational
next
shrooms
one.
at this point. I'm not positive on that, but
I think that
At least
for medicinal
medical.
purposes, with certain drugs should definitely be legal because it's been proven that it's helping people. Like we're there. Cannabis
microdosing
is
too.
legal.
Yeah, it's not even people
Shrooms
wanting to
is
get fucked
happening.
up.
Psychedelics is happening. So we know that there's scientific evidence proving that it does help.
But then there's drugs like crack or like meth, where it's just like there's no way
Yeah,
to
but those-
spin this.
No,
to be
there's
like,
none.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that
He's
wouldn't
the
be.
successful crackhead.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
can help those people get the help that they need,
True.
especially if they're addicts and stuff.
So they're
And
not
then-
vilified.
Exactly, vilified. And then you just don't put them in jail and they're just forgotten in the system or not. Thank God we're not in the States.
Yeah.
We're in Canada. We have like,
Yeah.
you know, but a little bit of leeway.
Although
But
some people are trying to bring that statesy vibe up
I
here
know.
lately.
Oh God.
Oh man. I actually want to ask you guys how you met and like when and why you decided to go into business together.
I'm gonna
How
let
did
Sarah
we-
take this.
I always tell
let
this
you, I'll let
story.
you start first because that's how we met.
I usually tell the story, but I've never really heard it from your perspective.
Oh, do you want me to start?
I don't know. No, I
If you guys can go sentence for sentence, that would be
Okay, go.
super
Yeah,
cool.
we can. Let's try and say it at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll try and say this exact. No, just kidding.
So
no.
Sarah, Sarah messaged me on Instagram. She had been following me for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, I will tell the story.
Okay,
There
you
is
go.
the backstory.
Yeah, there's the backstory. So you go first.
So I'll
You
start
go.
with the backstory. So in like 2018, back in the day when we used to, anyway, I decided that I wanted to get into the cannabis industry, and that was like my goal. And so I started like this little social media thing with some of my friends, and we were making content, you know, like things you do when you're in university. And well, I was out of university, but I was hanging out with university kids. And so I started following a bunch of influencers on Instagram, and Ganja Babe was one of them. And I just like loved her. I was just fangirling over her. I was just like, oh my God, this girl's so cool. And then when I was opening the store in Ottawa and she was living in Ottawa, I was like,
No brainer.
I'm just gonna see if maybe she'd be down. And I just like
Nice.
slid into her DMs.
Yeah, slide into I'm gonna pass a comment here. Sarah's a salesperson too, so don't forget that part.
Yeah. I get my targets, and I don't care how long it takes. I
She's
get my
good.
targets.
I was gonna ask if you ever do stand up. You have that vibe for sure.
That's funny. You mentioned
I would love
that.
to. I do keep
you
notes.
should come out to a show. That's the best way to want to do it more.
Yeah,
Because you'll see
I
some
take little
amateurs
notes.
and you're like, I'm better than this. And then you'll come up with a 6
it.
minutes or whatever and you'll crush probably.
She already
and then
has some
you'll get the
content.
bug.
I got
She
some
has
jokes.
content that she's
I have some
worked
jokes.
on already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
take
funny
all
you
the
mentioned
stuff
that.
you've been texting yourself for months. Like, that's kind of funny. If you're doing that already, then you have to do it.
You have
Yeah,
to.
I will. I will do 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like on the bucket list. Like
That's
that
all it
5
is,
minutes
yeah.
of stand up. Yeah.
You just, you got to want it though, because like places like Yucks, at least you got to, it's like once a month you have to email to try to get in for the next month. And
I'm
usually
a
if you're new,
salesperson.
they'll
I'll find
give
the
you a chance.
target.
Well,
I don't
there-
know. I'll just find the person who makes that decision, and they'll contact me. Call me. I'm just kidding. I keep looking at the camera. I'm like, oh, we're doing a podcast.
Oh man, what else do we want to go to here? Oh yeah, you
Sorry,
guys
you
were
were
talking.
saying-
Yeah. Sorry, let's get back to the story. How you guys
Oh yeah,
met.
so that's
that
it.
was
So I slid in her
basically it.
DMs,
You just-
and she was like, "Weird, but maybe."
the build up for the story was huge, and then it was like, yeah. So
And then
she,
we just
messaged
met.
me on Instagram.
And that's it. Yeah, that's the whole story.
That's not just it. Okay, wait. Sarah messaged me on Instagram. She's like, I'm trying to get in the weed industry. She knew that she saw on my Instagram page that one of my brothers is a realtor. Well, two of my brothers are realtors. So she's like, I'm looking for spaces.
That was my soft opening.
Yeah, that was her soft opening.
I didn't
Sales
ask her
rep. Sales
directly.
rep. Do not
I asked
forget
for
that.
a reference for a brother, so maybe he could help me out find some real
She
estate.
contacts my brother anyways, and then she messages me. She's like, I'm looking to open a weed store. Like, I want a cannabis shop. I want you to work for me. And I was like, who are you? Like,
I'm that creepy person in the bush.
It is, you know, like it's one of those Instagram moments where you're like, social media, who's this person? So I was following her, and I was like, okay, well, she doesn't have anything cannabis related on her page. How serious is she? And like, is this a scam? You know, like you're
Yeah,
offering me,
that's
you're
funny.
offering me a job on Instagram. You haven't looked at my resume.
Nope.
You have no idea who I am. You just see this Instagram page, right?
And there's lots of those Instagram people who do message you like that. They're like bots or
100%.
whatever.
You want to work, partner, collab with us, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
collab,
and
yeah.
stupid shit. So anyways, and then Sarah said to me, let's meet on Zoom or FaceTime or something. And then we had a Zoom meeting. We were smoking weed, talking. We had a really great conversation. I think it was like a couple of weeks later, after your birthday, right? After her birthday in July, she messaged me and she said, well, I want to come to Montreal. I want you to come to Montreal. And then I said, okay, I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks. She's like, I can't wait. I'm going to come down this week. So she came down to Ottawa like that. And we went out for dinner in the Byward Market. And then after that, I said, yeah, I'll work for you. And that's how that happened. And also, do you want to add how you found me on Instagram though? Or no?
And
Oh,
how
yeah.
long ago was all this too?
This just happened in 2021. Like I met Sarah in July or June of
Yeah, because
2021.
you
But
seem like
listen.
old, like
I know.
I love
friends
that.
from
Thank you. That's-
childhood. Yeah.
No, we've
They get that.
Bestie mode.
we have not
gotten
known
that?
each other for a year yet.
No, but we can get in that since like 3 weeks in. But yeah, no, actually, but I've had her on my list. I found the list going through my files since 2018. That's the long game.
Yeah. So Sarah really
I found a file
was
from
committed
2018 with her
to getting
name
me
and
to work
information.
for her. And to be
From
honest with
stalking
you,
to friends.
Yeah,
but to
there
be
you go.
honest with you, when she approached me, I had sworn off the cannabis industry because I was from the legacy market. So pre-legalization, I was running gray area dispensaries. And when legalization happened, I had kind of a moment where like, where do I fit in? Like I was kind of like being a cowboy in a sense, just like selling cannabis through a store or like just being at the forefront of that the activism pre-legalization to kind of push it further. And then Sarah got me and I said, okay, cool, I'll work with you. Like I'm down. She made me believe that I was relevant and I thought I
Nice.
wasn't in the industry. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Aww.
That's a heartwarming moment for the episode.
Yes.
I
Super
wanted
cheese balls.
to actually ask you because before I forget, it just came back to me. You worked during the sort of prohibition, pseudo legal, whatever it was,
Yeah.
where there was all these dispensaries, but a lot of them were run really. I would say most of them were really legit, and I remember being impressed by the service and the setups. And then there were the couple of trashy ones. But were you actually in store when any of the raids happened? I wanted to know that.
Oh God, I don't even know if I should say this.
Oh,
Okay.
if it's PTSD or
No,
something.
it's not. No, not PTSD whatsoever. For legal reasons, this may or may not have happened. But
I had a dream
I
once.
was in the store. See, okay. God, okay. This may or may not have happened. I'm like maybe gonna plead the fifth on this. I know it's not a thing in Canada, but regardless.
You heard it from a
Yes,
friend
I
of a
was
friend.
in the stores at one of the raids that we have. I'm not gonna mention which one, but
Yeah.
I was there.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
I was maybe like in Centertown, and those who know what store I'm talking about. And it was one of the first ones that opened before one of the big ones that caused a lot of noise. But regardless, I was in the back store. I saw the cops on the camera, and we told the employees, like everybody knew that if you can kind of like pretend to be a customer when the cops come in and not get arrested, do it. But
Less people
also,
to bail.
when you would work for this certain company, they made sure that if we did get arrested, we were fine. Legal fees were covered 100%. They proven that, and like everything was fine. And I did run out the back door. And usually this was not the first raid that happened there. And there were cops usually waiting at the back door, and they weren't there. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? So I proceeded to call the lawyer, being like, employees are getting arrested. We're having a raid. Called the Ottawa Citizen. I called one of the
crazy.
reporters and like, there is a raid happening. And then they came down, and everybody came down and all the employees knew, like we had a group chat. Everybody didn't live too far, so they came down. So yes, I was at one of the stores during the raid. But
And this was like
fortunately-
not long before legalization happened, right?
Yeah, this was like in 2017. Yeah.
So that's why I think people were supporting the movement, even though
Yeah.
it was.
Well,
like
we
the
were
cops kept trying to
trying-
make examples of people, but
Exactly.
it's like so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's
They
just
were
a waste of
wasting,
money
like to be honest,
at
they
that
were
point.
wasting their
Exactly.
time. It was, nothing really happened out of it. Nobody got charged with anything. All the employees got discharged.
It was meant to be a deterrent, I
Exactly.
think, mainly.
Also, because I want to
not
take
all
this.
not everybody who got raided in the different stores, that was the case, but the ones that we were working all together, pretty much everybody got
Hypothetically.
discarded. Yeah, hypothetically, this may or may not have
Throw
happened.
another one of those in there.
Yeah, just to make sure. But yeah, no, it was fun to do those. It was really nice to be able to help people get stuff.
Yeah.
And we had so many people that didn't have access to products that they needed and we just had them. And whether we know we didn't have, like all the medical proof for everything, but people trusted it. And then we helped a lot of people, especially the people who may or may not have worked there. They a lot of them, their lives have changed, and we know that it kind of helped, especially people coming, either they were homeless or struggling with drug issues, alcoholism. It helped them really get their lives straightened out. So it was a really cool time. It wasn't just the customers we were helping a lot of people behind the scenes as well.
The worst part was that like they took so long with the rollout, and then when they finally did it, it was so botched, and it took forever for things to kind of
It's
get
still
started.
botched.
It's still botched. It's nice to have, at least we have a regulations that we know what we can and can't do. But obviously now we're going to have to work harder to change certain of those
And
regulations.
I got to say
because-
the AGCO has been pretty chill so far.
Yeah, AGCO's been doing a pretty good job. I mean, like,
What is that? AGCO?
Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
they
they've
are
been
the
pretty
ones that
cool.
are in control or that take care of any like licensing regarding cannabis if you're opening a store.
Yeah, we'll see about the OCS.
Yeah.
All this business lingo.
Yeah,
Sorry, I ran over my
OCS.
head.
No, it's okay. The OCS is the Ontario Cannabis Store, so they're
Oh, I knew
the
that.
they're the
cartel.
middlemen. They're
They're not the middleman. They are the cartel. We are the middleman.
no,
We're the pushers.
Yeah.
They are the.
yeah, if in terms of that. But yeah, the OCS is where retailers buy their cannabis from, and it's the only place that they can buy their cannabis from because we can't go directly to the licensed producer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna have
But
to.
people can order directly from
From the
OCS.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is the
exactly.
problem.
So we're in competition
okay,
with
so
the
I
people
see
who
you're
supply
kind
us.
of confused. 'Cause I don't know. Your face looks
Yeah.
confused.
Well, because
because
you guys would, I would think, have to mark your
So-
shit up a bit.
exactly.
Exactly.
So
You know.
Oh, you have tout
between
compris.
all of us is that in the history of middlemen, who does that?
Yeah.
Who they
Canada.
in my opinion, and that's my opinion,
Canada.
they shouldn't be able to sell to consumers.
Yeah, they should
We're
just
the ones that are
provide the
there for
stores
it.
and then-
They're cutting us off. They cut people off of making their profit, and we have the markups are crazy. And right now in Ottawa, especially in Ontario as well, the market is extremely saturated of cannabis
Very
stores.
This is what I was going to say.
So
There's
we're-
Yeah,
every
very
week-
stupid choice to open a store, must say.
Yeah,
No,
but
no.
we got cojones, bro. Like,
My
you know?
dad and I were talking about how many stores are every week popping up.
Yeah.
And other than the cool theme that you guys have got going on and your great personalities, how are you guys planning on trying to stand out from all the competition? Your store, respectively.
We know that we buy our cannabis from the same place. We all have access to the same products. The way that we're trying to differentiate is obviously we don't want to forget about culture and the community. In cannabis, those are two very important things.
Yeah.
And we don't want to forget about that. And we're trying to create kind of an immersive experience that will get you to come back to the store and tell
gonna
people
be cool.
about it. Like we know where
gonna be
where
trippy.
cannabis stop.
I can't wait to check it out.
That's
It's
it.
going to be so fun. And also people, like, why do you go to one? I keep saying Depa now, but you know, I mean, like, whatever you call
Corner
them,
stores.
convenience stores, corner
Convenience
stores.
Yeah.
But like, why do you go to one Dep over another? It's because, you know, you like Jason at the Dep,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And he like happens to have your favorite candy there because he knows you like it. And that's like,
Yeah.
that's going to be cannabis stores. It's like owning a Dep, you know, like
That's it.
You got the local cannabis.
Yeah, you have
store.
like, and you have your bud tenders that you really like and that
Yeah.
they understand you.
Good
So we're
staff.
really trying to find some hidden gems,
Yeah, we're hiring right
which
now.
has been
It's
such
exciting.
an insane
Man, that would be
process
such
to
a
us.
fun job.
Right? And we're really
I would love
excited.
that job even just to work like one day a week.
You should see the
Just for the experience.
the
you know?
posts that we put up. We used all
Our
these
job
like
posting.
Yeah, the job posting. We used all these quotes from Alice in Wonderland and made it all like kind of riddly and stuff. And like people were flipping out. It was really
Yeah,
fun.
we had. I
Yeah.
was surprised at the amount of applicants we got.
we got a lot.
Like I didn't expect that.
there's no shortage of people who need to work right now. Don't
True.
let them tell
If
you
that
that
wanna
is not
work
true.
in
I don't think there's a
cannabis
shortage of
industry, no.
potheads in Ottawa. either.
No,
Yeah.
no. We had a lot of applicants, and at first we weren't going to put that kind of job posting because I was like, but then Sarah and I said,
Yeah, fuck
well,
it.
it is a weird one, and that's who we want to attract.
Yeah.
We don't want. We
That
want
whole-
people that are going to vibe with us. That we're weird.
I wonder if weed
We're
stores
weird.
can sponsor podcasts. No. I don't know.
Hopefully
It's
one
probably
day they
not allowed.
could.
Well,
Not
actually,
yet,
we're
but
thinking about.
I would
doing-
assume there's laws against that.
there are, and the laws are changing regularly because before there's stuff with people were doing ads on the radio and then door stoppers and those weren't allowed. Now I'm not really sure. I haven't read up on it.
Delivery's back in though. I saw.
Delivery, I think, is going to be staying. To be honest with you, I don't see why it shouldn't stay. There's some people that cannot leave their homes.
If you can get
need
McDonald's
cannabis.
delivered to you,
Listen,
it's like
you can get
poison,
cannabis delivered.
basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
So
That's
of
funny.
course, yeah, like I think delivery is still a thing. Curbside pickup will still stay a thing because sometimes you're in one of those moods you just don't want to talk to anybody and you just know what you want. You order it, you just
Or you're
pick it up, and
you're
that's
just
it.
chilling on your couch watching Netflix with your Cheetos.
And you don't want to move.
You don't want to put
Any-
your boots on.
Any restriction that applies to weed, if it doesn't apply to alcohol, to me is ridiculous.
It is.
Because alcohol is always going to be
So
worse.
much worse.
So
Like
much
I
worse.
still drink, like I enjoy alcohol in moderation usually, but compared to weed, yeah, it's just always causing so many more problems. And I've
Yeah,
thought that
absolutely.
since I first started smoking weed as a teenager.
Yeah. I think it's
No.
great that like nothing bad has really happened since legalization at all. So now like,
No.
like
Yeah.
things are getting more relaxed because like the ceiling did
made
not
money.
fall on people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, people were like, oh my God, there's going to be all these accidents and all these kids dropping out of school. And,
Yeah.
you know, but like,
If anything,
fine.
it's just hopefully less stigmatized now. There still is a lot of stigma surrounding cannabis.
Honestly, like
cannabis,
pre-legalization, when I would tell people that I smoke weed every day, people would be shocked because like I'm a very energetic person, and I couldn't believe that people thought it was like impossible for someone
just
to
some
be
burnout for sure.
Yeah, everyone would always think that like, no, if you're smoking weed all the time, you must be like living in your mom's
Lazy.
basement.
You're like, it's called sativa, motherfucker.
yeah.
What up?
Or even indica. I'm so high strung that like
Yeah.
indica helps. Like
Yeah.
I'm smoking indica now.
I'm
and, like,
indica all the way, all day, every day.
That's where
So it
I'm
mellows
at
me out.
mostly.
Makes me normal.
Indica leaning hybrid is sort of what I try to find.
Yeah.
Because some indica puts you the fuck out.
For sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I need something that just calms me down without making me like sedated.
That's it.
I don't like that haziness, but I do like the relaxed.
The
so
relaxing feel.
That's why knowing your strain is important. I was going to ask you guys if you had a
100%.
favorite strain.
Oh my
like
God.
A go-to strain.
Yeah.
I'm
It's too hard to
struggling right
choose.
now because like, what am I allowed to say? So
Just say what you want.
pre-legalization, you know, we had our little medicine cabinet. Like I knew what strain I like to just get the munchies, you know, and I just sit there and just like eat. I'd be like, I'm going to make the cheesiest pizza and just get really stoned and eat it. And then I had like the one that like, if I was just, my boss just gave me a bunch of shit and I had to work, but I was feeling all anxious. You could just take a couple puffs and then you like calm down and but you still work, you know? And then I had like my strain for like the tranquilizer, you know, like at the end of the day, I need to sleep. I'm just going to like tranquilize.
Sore muscles,
Yeah.
just go to bed. Yeah.
Exactly. But now like transitioning, I'm still trying to find my strains on the legal market. So even in the interviews, I was asking like
so
everybody,
many.
I was like, okay, so let's say like hypothetically speaking, somebody was looking for a tranquilizer and like got all the recommendations. Now I'm going to go and like buy all these ones that these.
Like I need some suggestions for cannabis. There's so many different brands right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me, I'm what I call myself a pink snob.
Oh,
I love
what?
pink kush.
Oh, pink
Anything with pink kush lineage is my
Pink
jam.
Kush is cheap actually
fucking
at
love
the
pink.
store. I love
Like
when
a
I've tried it, it
good
was good.
pink that you can't get anything better than that, in my opinion. But that's
Interesting.
because I'm like I'm a weed snob now.
I know a lot of people love Blue Dream. That's one of the popular
It's a good
sativas.
one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I used to buy that in bulk.
I like it because it's a sativa that doesn't trip me like in an anxiety way.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to work out or something, or like
Yeah.
do like, you know, ride a bike or whatever.
Yeah.
Just chill. Just
chill.
relax. Nice day.
Just chill.
Enjoy the sativas.
Do a podcast, you know,
Yeah.
just something casual.
Try to
No
keep
pun
it chill.
intended here.
I was actually going to throw to my dad. Normally he has a question. I'm not sure if you have one prepared this week, but
Well, I was curious earlier about just interesting time to leap into the market, so to speak. I mean, because it seems I just turn around and I see them everywhere, and I go, "Is this a good time to open?" But maybe you had picked your spot where there was you found an area that didn't have any, or something like that. But my other question though was about. So I've never been a big pothead or anything like that. Smoked it when I was a kid for a while. Not like, high school.
no, you
But-
tried it in like college or something, right?
Well, it's mostly high school. It was,
Oh,
it was
okay.
like
I
grade
didn't know
12 when we had grade 13 back then. That was my sort of thing. By the time I went to university, I was over it, sort of a thing. And I never I'm not a smoker, never been a smoker, and I hated how it burned my lungs. You know, I always had to get over that every time. So
You got to build up a nice resin
Yeah, you
later.
have to.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in
like
in,
a cast iron.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So I'm interested in edibles, and what I'm interested in is something that does the if you don't feel like drinking alcohol, but you want that relaxed, just not tipsy, but just shy of tipsy. But the social relaxation, so you can if you don't normally mingle that well, suddenly you're the big mingler. You know, I mean, what do you recommend for that?
Oh, well, we can't recommend anything because
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
medical advice.
Maybe that's not a good question.
Medicinal.
But that's not medicinal.
No, not medicinal. So I don't know. I would.
I mean, for me with the edibles,
It
I don't
depends
fuck
what
with
you're
edibles.
doing. Like if you want like a nice social night out.
Yes, that's
If you usually smoke, what do you tend to go with? More indicas or sativa?
No, but
No, he doesn't want to
I-
smoke.
No,
I-
but
I don't-
he's never
He wants
smoked.
to do the
well,
edibles.
I've
Oh,
smoked, but it was
yeah.
many years
Many
ago.
years
Back when
ago?
people didn't say indica and sativa, probably.
I would always
Exactly.
try to tell people to keep just try one of those edibles that have like a nice balance and maybe some CBD in it as well.
So when you say one of those with a nice balance, what do
That
you mean
has
when you
like
say
a
nice balance?
THC and CBD at the or good ratio of CBD.
yeah, like
and
those are the
Probably
strains
most.
I enjoy.
Yeah, but what's a like
1 to 1.
One to one, yeah.
1 to 1?
So if you're eating edibles, I think the pack can only have 10 milligrams maximum
Right,
in it.
you guys are saying that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it'll tell you 1 to 1 ratio, or it'll tell you like exactly how much percentage is THC and the CBD as well.
Because the CBD is supposed to like take the edge off the anxiety, basically, right? Or the more intensified vibes.
Yeah. It always depends. Like I feel like it's so different from person to person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, that's what.
You got to experiment a bit.
Well,
yeah.
well, the other thing with edibles,
That's the biggest
Yeah.
takeaway is like I was saying, like I'm still struggling to find strains I like. I mean, I always just tell people like, even it just depends on my mood that day, you know, like, so you just gotta try stuff and see what
But-
works
Do you
for
keep a
too.
journal of strains?
Yeah.
I definitely do. Yeah. Definitely do.
but when you get someone in, and this is another area I was going to ask you about as well, was just like the older population, right? Like,
Yes, absolutely.
because I think a store might do well if you just opened up a store and said like, I know, cannabis for old people.
Honestly, that was the original
The
idea.
name needs a bit of work,
Originally,
I love it.
yeah. Well, originally
Imagine
this
that was the
whole
store name.
idea spun out of I was going after that age category. We were
Yeah.
looking at renting a place in a medical building on a 4th floor or 7th floor, and then trying to target people who didn't want to walk into a shop that had fogged windows at the street, right? You know,
yeah.
that was where we
Some guy
started
with
off. But the
dreads
problem
on,
is
like-
we don't know if your market exists. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
don't know because
If
you're
it's
not
gonna
in
work.
it yet. And also, it's like how much would you really spend on cannabis a month? You know, like
Well,
you might. Yeah.
older people often have a lot more money than younger people.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
don't know if
snap.
you're going to
Yeah.
use.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, like I'm
but it's true. No, he's bang
But-
on.
So I'm 66, right?
Yeah.
And in our social group, we're like the youngest. So there's a ton of them that are like early 70s, mid 70s, right?
Right.
And they're all like got some at home, right?
Yeah.
And
Well-
but it's getting out to it. It's they're intimidated by
Yeah.
a lot of young people,
Yeah.
right? They're intimidated sometimes by sativa, indica, this
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that.
overwhelming.
You don't
But they're not
stupid.
against
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
But they need a little
feel
hand.
safe.
They need a little hand holding. They need to feel safe.
Okay, so
all
here,
that
wait.
kind of stuff.
I'm gonna
I
go
would-
business on you here for a
Yeah,
second. Then, okay. So one thing that we were thinking about, like in the beginning, was having like an Ask Alice, kind of like where you
Oh,
could book
cool.
an appointment with someone, and you just go and like on the site, you can click the Ask Alice and book an appointment with someone, like a bud tender, like we have a medical person come in. Let's say even if that's
Like
what
a
you wanted,
consultation.
like a consultation,
Yeah.
and then we could adjust it. Like, would that be something that would you
Yeah,
would you click that Ask Alice button?
Yeah, I would love to be able to sit down with somebody knowledgeable, in a comfortable place and go like, here's what I'm after. Like at my age, like some of my friends, they got arthritis and achy joints and all that kind of jazz. And
Yeah.
I would.
there's a lot of anxiety in the older population too, and they're anxious about getting
Is it
old. They're
ang-
anxious about
In the young generation, too.
I would-
everybody.
everyone's anxious everywhere right now.
And then all of a sudden, some tattooed white guy with dreads is like, what's
What
going on, brother?
what's good?
Yeah, exactly. Then you see us like chilling, and you're like, "How do I get there?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually. I don't know. My answer would be a bit different. I
Would
would
you?
actually refer you to probably go to the pharmacy
Hybrid
that
farm.
I go to,
Yeah.
Hybrid Farm.
I was gonna say that too.
Jenna's
It's gonna plug
medical.
it too.
Shout out to Jenna,
so
too.
yes,
Yeah.
thanks, Jenna. We
Yeah,
love
for
you.
setting
Hi,
this up.
Jenna.
So
Yeah.
I would actually suggest that you go visit the guys at Hybrid Farm in Rahim and
Angelo.
Angelo, and you can book the appointment with them. And you're going to be speaking, I think, with a nurse practitioner or a doctor via Zoom, and you can have that talk with them, or you can even ask Jenna to like hook you up and maybe have like a consult with
So
Rahim.
this is very interesting to me. I've never heard of this before.
So if
Yeah.
because you're mentioning certain like medical conditions, right, like arthritis and all these things.
Yeah, some of them have. Yeah.
You can go to Hybrid Farm, and they've facilitated my medical license for me for my different illnesses, and I've stopped taking like prescriptions, pharmaceuticals for everything. So I now consume cannabis. That's why I consume cannabis so much, is for medicinal purposes. So I would go see them, and then they can like guide you,
Yeah,
because
that's
you'll
the best
feel way
idea.
more comfortable. And I felt more comfortable going into a nice setting like that.
They're
because
super sweet. It's
Rahim's
really
a
nice.
pharmacist. Like, he knows what he's talking about, and he's extremely passionate about cannabis. And they're involved in the medical side of it. So that I would definitely refer you
And
to
do you think
them.
there are enough solutions out there that don't involve inhaling, burning?
100%.
Oh, yeah,
Especially in the medical,
There's
yeah.
you can do
can take
topicals, you
oil.
can take oils, you can take
Yeah, the
pills.
oils. I put
you can
some
even-
oil
if
in
I
my
you
just
like
never knew about the
baths.
efficacy of those.
No, if you
know.
if you like baths, there's like bath salts or bath bombs as well, and you can just put
Really,
Yeah,
eh?
honestly,
I don't know if my
it's,
dad's a
it's
big
something.
bath guy.
But
No, no.
you know, so
Yeah.
but who knows? But no, that's what I would suggest to you.
There's
like
a
that.
lot of really
Always
good
go for that.
feedback. Like I've
Yeah.
even had, people close to me that have never consumed in their life start doing even just the CBD oils and stuff, and they give me really good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really try CBD because I figure I get enough of CBD just from consuming
We've
my
tried,
cannabis.
we've tried
but like,
CBD. I've got CBD
Yeah.
at home, like the oil under the tongue
Yeah.
business, but it's never really done much for me. So
No?
no. But I haven't, it's been limited experimentation. So.
Yeah.
It's when it comes to cannabis, especially, we have so many products available now. It's trial and error.
Yeah.
Like you have to do. You're constantly doing R&D
Yeah.
for your own personal.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just trying to figure out what kind of strains fit what you like, and you know,
It's
if
a
you wanna-
journey.
yeah,
You got to take a trip.
yeah, 100%.
When we were talking about more accessible places for people to go, that's
Yeah.
kind of in line with something I was going to talk about, which is if you go back even further pre-legalization, I remember going to like bong shops like in high school, and it was always some like gross old dude.
Yeah.
And now when you go to weed stores, it's like always at least 50% women, if not more, I find a lot of time, which
I
is
find
awesome.
I see a lot of women too. But actually, statistically, it's only like 12%.
It's extremely male dominant. This
Oh,
industry.
is it? So
In
this is
general,
just something I wanted to ask about.
Yeah, it is a very, very male dominated industry, and that's why we're coming guns blazing type of thing. Cause
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean like in ownership side of things?
Ownership,
Everything.
business, even
Everything.
consumption.
Because the
from
clerks, at least,
production,
I've seen a lot
from
of
production
bud tenders.
from production and big businesses, this is a male dominated. And I know stats where had this seminar not long ago, a couple of weeks ago. I'm waiting for getting that email with all the documents, but it's proven straight up like male dominated industry. There's not a lot of people of color either
Yeah, I was
in the
gonna say a lot of
industry.
white
It's an
males.
issue. It's and you know, we need to get our voices heard in a sense, because you know, I mean, like without us, I mean,
But also,
cannabis is not legal.
we can do
like-
another plug, like Superette. That's a woman.
Yeah.
And she's
That
awesome.
place was awesome. Yeah.
And it's
Badass.
awesome. It's
That was
probably
the
one of
first
the
one
best.
I ever went to, so maybe
Yeah.
that's
is
what.
So, like,
they're
the-
doing it right. Like
Yeah.
they know what they're doing, and they're doing a really great job at it. And they've been
It's like a 50s diner.
People know
It's
about
so
this brand.
cool.
Like in
We
Canada,
love
when you
Superette.
mention dispensaries, I'm pretty sure Superette's name comes up. Like we talk about it all
Definitely.
the time. It's one of my favorite spots to go to as well.
a little
It gives us
smaller than
hope.
some of the other ones that
Yeah.
I've
There's
been to.
different,
but-
different locations, but their branding is on point. It's
Yeah.
all about branding because, like I said earlier, we all have access to the same product. What are you
Yeah,
doing to stand
exactly.
out?
Yeah.
Superette's doing an amazing job at standing out and being like at the forefront of the cannabis industry right now. So yeah,
And also just an example of like why it's great to have more women in the space. You know, they bring
Exactly.
something different.
Or diversity in general is always
Diversity
a good
in general.
100%.
Not that I'm trying to throw shade at tattooed white guys with dreads.
Yeah, you guys
have
are
your
great
place
too. Don't take it personally, bros. It's okay. Don't get defensive.
And I gotta say, if we do make that, or someone makes that place that's more for the older crowd, I really hope this store is weed for old people.
Just
Like,
weed.
I love
I was
it.
gonna
Just-
just boomers.
Say it as it is. Okay, I have some fun questions for you guys.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay,
I
fun
asked
questions.
you favorite strain. Let's do what's the best stoner movie in your opinion? Because you're a cinemaphile. A word I don't like. I feel like file makes anything sound gross.
Did I write a movie junkie? I don't like that word actually.
Pedophiles ruined file.
File, yeah.
You know,
I'm a movie junkie. Even that when my friend wrote that, I was like, No,
We were talking about Wes Anderson last night.
Yeah, we were talking about.
I'm
Wes
sure you have
Anderson.
a favorite stoner
Wes
film.
Anderson is fun.
Okay,
Like best movie, it can either be the
Best
best movie to
stoner
watch while
movie.
you're stoned, or the best like stoner themed movie.
I'll think of
however
it.
you
I'll
want to
make
take
it like a stoner thing. That's so hard.
I mean,
I
my
know.
favorite
There's a lot
movie
of-
ever.
lot of
My
options.
favorite movie ever is probably The Princess Bride.
Oh, nice. I would have
I read
never
a
thought
thread
of that as
about
like
that.
a stoner movie.
I read a thread about that the other day, saying it is one of the best movies and best stories ever.
It is.
It
It is, and it's great.
family friendly.
It's
too.
great.
It's so
But
good.
yes.
It's one of those movies that I like will put on like with like
name
dude
is
friends, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Princess Bride," like, "Come on, Sarah." You put
And
it
by
on
the
at
end,
the
they're
end, they're like, "Like this is the best movie ever."
They're like, Andre the Giant's in this?
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like wrestling.
I'm thinking it's so hard to like stoner movie. Okay, the first one that comes to mind is definitely Pineapple Express or How High.
I would say Half Baked, in my opinion, is the
Oh
first.
fuck yeah! See,
But that's,
like that's
older.
like I can't. You.
I thought you
can't
just meant
pick.
movies that you like to get high and watch.
He said that too.
That
You
too,
could have said that
yeah.
as
Take it
well.
how you, yeah.
Stoner movie, like for sure, those are like my top favorite ones, 100%. But I'm like a Wes Anderson Tarantino fan as well. So I could like throw on those like Tarantino movies. Those are the best to get high to. Not
Yeah.
everybody
2001
likes
Space
but
Odyssey.
Pretty intense, yeah.
But not everybody
Some
likes
Kubrick.
the monologue of Tarantino vibes. Because
Or
it
if-
Depends on the monologue.
but it's like I love the build up. Like it's just nothing
Yeah.
nothing big is happening throughout the movie, and then at the end you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like damn, mind blown.
Pretty intense scenes in some
Amazing.
of those
Oh,
movies.
fuck
though.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Again, depending on what kind
Like
of
which
strain I'm having.
movie? Yeah,
like-
what strain?
I always gravitate towards comedy. That's just I like to laugh. And I'm like,
It
there's so
is.
much serious shit in the world that if I'm going to watch a movie, I always end up leaning that way, or superhero shit just because I'm a
Okay, what's your
giant man
favorite
child.
superhero movie to watch when you're high? Then
Oh my God, I've never even thought about that. I've probably seen them all high.
yeah. Or, like which one are you like? I'm gonna put a joint and like smoke a joint and watch this. So I can get baked to it.
I don't know, man. If I did watch a superhero movie, it'd probably be one of the old ones that I haven't seen in a long time. Because I feel like the MCU is always pumping out new stuff. I have never felt the need to go back and revisit it because there's always something new coming out.
I'm like a new Marvel fan though. Like I'm a movie Marvel fan. I'm starting to get into the comics, getting to learn more stuff and this and that. And I'm like diving in a bit to DC, but I'm not a huge James Gunn fan.
Oh no?
No, it's just like the Suicide Squad movies. I've tried to watch them multiple times and it's just like.
Well, there's only one that's actually done by him. The second
one, yeah. So the first one, I didn't like that one. I can't remember who directed that one. It's literally slipping my mind.
David Ayer, I think his name is.
But I don't know. James Gunn.
Have you seen Slither?
No,
Oh, you should
I
check
haven't watched that one.
That
Okay,
was
I'm gonna
James
put it on my
Gunn's.
list.
It's like a horror-ish movie about these like slugs that go in people's brains.
know.
You should probably watch the new Doctor Strange that's going to come out.
No, don't. No spoilers.
No
Okay,
spoilers.
cool.
But
There's a trailer out for that. already.
I think for somebody who's a little bit stoned, that might be a very interesting movie
Yes.
to watch.
That's Sam Raimi too, who did
Yeah.
the old Spider-Man
Yes.
movies, like
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire back in the day.
Another
be
one
epic.
that's a little offbeat, but the Spawn movie might be.
Spawn was my favorite
That was a good
movie
movie.
when I was younger. I
mean, the
loved
90s
that.
Especially for the
Spawn?
time.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That was
Pretty
like
good.
one of the only movies that like I remember being afraid. And
Yeah, it was kind of dark. Like
Yeah.
he went to hell and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you brought us to see that in the theater. I'm pretty sure when I was like
Spawn?
probably too young to
'Cause
watch
I'm
it.
a good dad. That's-
Exactly.
They're awesome. That's so cool.
Good dad of the year.
Spawn.
My dad
No.
accidentally brought like 9-year-old me and like 6-year-old little brother into Scary Movie, the first one.
Oh, that's inappropriate.
Scary movie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Doesn't he like semen blast someone to the ceiling in that movie?
So my
Yeah.
brother, I think like one of the first
Good Lord.
scenes, like there's a dick in it, and my brother started to cry. So my dad left me alone in the theater, and I watched the whole Scary Movie one by myself in the theater at like the age of like 9 or 10.
Amazing.
That movie is ridiculous. I remember a friend, I was like 13 or something when that came
I
out.
can't watch those
And a
anymore.
friend told me about that scene where some person gets like blasted to the ceiling with semen. And I thought, because this guy was known to fuck with me, like he would always mess with me. And I was convinced he was making it up. And when I went and saw the movie, I couldn't believe
like,
that shit was
no.
actually real.
You're like, my virgin eyes. No.
Well,
I
just
remember-
like, what a weird thing to put
It
in a
is.
movie.
Like I think when they came out, it was funny, but I tried to watch them a few years ago, and I was
it's
like, I can't do this.
Crude just for the sake of being
I think it
crude.
was the second
was the
one
era of that.
where I
Yeah.
can't
Bum
remember.
American
fights
Pie.
and like
Yeah.
what's that show where they'd all fuck each other up?
Jackass?
Yeah, Jackass. They're doing
I
another
saw
one.
the new
came out. I
Jackass.
haven't seen it yet.
I
Is
saw
it
it.
Yeah, the
good?
new one.
Yeah, I
Is it
have to
good?
admit, I am like a
Nice.
Jackass fan.
I
but
love Jackass.
I-
Grew up on that. Like we.
Yeah.
Like,
That was that era of like,
It
yeah,
was.
just
Some of it's a little like
Watchable.
ridiculous.
like, are you-
I don't love every skit, but overall, I think they're funny.
nice. Okay, I have to watch it.
The new one has all these new people in it, though, right?
Okay, interesting.
They're like passing the torch to the next generation.
Oh,
so
oh,
there's
that's
like, I want to
so-
say 4 new people.
Okay.
And they're all right. They kind of grow on you.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah, no, it's okay.
We're
I'm
gonna
still in
mix strains.
COVID non-sharing. I appreciate the gesture, though.
I have to share. That's
Yeah. Well, I just met you.
Jackass.
No.
I love it. No,
And
I
you
have
also
to
did
watch
tell me
it.
that you share joints with literally everyone.
literally.
Like,
I was going to say one of my favorite things to do at a concert is I'll roll a bunch of joints and then just share them with everyone around me because that way nobody rats you out for smoking weed at the concert.
True.
That's hilarious.
And you only have a slight risk of getting hepatitis B.
There you
Just
go.
a slight one.
Can you catch that orally? I don't know. I think you can.
What I would suggest is make sure you've got all your shots up to date.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not kidding.
That's it.
I'm serious.
Dead serious.
Go get your Hep C and Hep whatever.
I'm
I think
Sharing-
I had to
sharing
get those
joints?
before I went to the
Yeah.
Philippines a couple of years ago. I got like updated on all those. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be out there mixing it up, I mean, you're a lovely young woman. You don't want to ruin that, right?
So it's so fatherly.
Hashtag good dad.
So
yeah, I
just-
was gonna say
grandfatherly.
Dad
He's doing his
vibes.
dad-
Just
dad thing
get
again.
your shots. It's easy to do.
You're a lovely
Yeah.
young.
I love that.
Spinning out of that last question about stoner movies, who do you think is the most like Hollyweed celeb who takes like the crown? Not like Snoop Dogg or someone that obvious, but maybe an actor that.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably.
That's
Seth Rogen,
amazing,
100%. Yo, his laugh. Have you watched his laugh in a loop?
No.
Do it.
Someone
You're
put a
just
beat
gonna
to it or something?
No, you just. It's just him laughing like that for like 2 minutes. It's the funniest shit ever.
He
His
kind of
laugh
laughs
is
like
the best.
Butthead.
He does. 100%. His laugh is the best. I just finished reading his book, yearbook, that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wrote.
Someone, Travis,
Hilarious.
was talking about that
It
too,
is
yeah.
hilarious. Like it's straight up a stoner book.
What, like how? I think someone told me about it, but I forget.
It's different. Like it's different experiences in his life, and there's also chapters dedicated to how certain movies became the movies. And
Oh,
he
nice.
talks about the interview, how that happened, and the whole Sony hacking thing with
Oh, shit,
all
I
that
forgot about
stuff.
that.
And yeah, it's super interesting. And I think he calls out, who does he call out at one point? He calls out like an actor because he was being like a little bit racist towards them because he called out them being like Jewish or Seth being Jewish,
Oh.
and Jonah Hill was in there. I cannot remember which actor it was, but regardless, it's super funny. You'll have a lot of LOL moments for sure. Highly suggested.
Yeah, yeah.
Seth Rogen, like he is.
You're the second person
stoner.
to tell me about it, so now I'm even more
You have to
inclined.
read it. It's really
he's
a quick
really into
read.
potting now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he-
super into
Oh,
potting.
potting. I thought you
Potting,
meant
yeah.
potting like podcasting.
No,
No,
he like makes
potting.
Yeah, ceramics and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does some really interesting stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah,
What an
cool
interesting dude.
textures and stuff.
Seth Rogen's the best.
What
Like
an
he's
interesting
awesome.
guy.
Yeah.
I thought
What
someone might
about
say
you?
Matthew McConaughey. He was kind of known for being the like, hey man, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
playing.
it's true.
Yeah.
Playing the
Dazed and
bongos
confused.
naked.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get older, but they stay the
Speaking
same
of Seth
age.
Rogen, that line is so overused though. I feel like there's so many other good lines in that movie.
Yeah, it's true.
I haven't seen it for a while though.
It's been a minute. No, for sure.
Speaking of Seth Rogen at the interview though, there's one guy who's like dropped off. James Franco is like canceled at this
Goodbye.
point.
Yeah.
Apparently he was like using his
Sleep on
power
his
as like
feet.
a acting teacher to like
Being just a weirdo
sad.
like he
yeah
is.
creep out on people.
No, I always thought James Franco was weird.
I thought he seemed like a nice guy, maybe just because I enjoyed the
Nah,
movies
when
he
he
was
played
but,
in
like-
that, what was that movie with the Selena Gomez, the Spring Breakers or something?
Oh yeah,
That was a fucked up movie.
and he had like cornrows or something,
He was
right?
weird.
And-
like
and a
I
grill.
just that when I watched that, like one of my friends was like, "You need to watch this," and we watched it, and I said,
It was a
we
weird
looked at
movie.
each other at the end, and he's like, "It was actually not as good as I remember it being," and I'm like, "That was fucking terrible."
Some people said it
can't
was like a
deal.
masterpiece. I'm like, no man.
He was he was
Spring
trying to
thing.
look like what's his name that rapper Jody High Roller.
He just looked like
He's
super
weird.
lame, super
No. I can't
like
with James
trying to
Franco.
pose as like a gangbanger or whatever you want to call
I
it.
love his brother though. His younger brother, I love him. He's
Oh, Dave Franco.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's married
Funny
to
actor
Alison Brie.
Brie from Community. Yes, I love it.
Shit. What was the other one? Oh yeah. Speaking of, as I was telling you guys, I got high with Tommy Chong. I will never
Yes?
stop
How was
bragging about
that?
that. It was digital, so like it wasn't like
But
we
you
were in the
still,
same
like-
room, but it was still amazing.
You had his attention for like how like you had
We talked for like 2 hours.
Wow.
one-on-one. Like
that's
Yeah.
so cool.
fucking epic.
Go check it out. People,
know,
it's
it's
in the
epic.
back catalog. So who would you like to get high with? If you could get high with anybody, it's sort of a throwback to the season 2 question.
Dead or alive?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Yeah,
Dead or alive?
Let's say that's up to you as well, because I don't want to hamper your choice here.
Jesus. Easy.
Don't kill me, dude. Jesus.
That's a fucking great answer, though. I mean,
He would totally smoke weed.
he probably would. He always looked like kind of a
100%.
hippie.
He would with me. You know what I mean? Maybe not with everybody, but Jesus would smoke weed with me.
That's my
I wanna
Jesus.
smoke
Yeah.
with. That is a great question. I've never.
Are you religious, or you just would like to meet the historical figure?
She's a
The
curious
historical
person.
figure of Jesus. I imagine he was
Because you did
around.
answer very quickly. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
Just
She's
the
thought of
historical
this.
figure of Jesus.
Super
I'm sure he
religious.
was cool
You've
as hell.
thought of this for sure.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know. Who would I smoke weed with? I think I would love to smoke weed with Snoop. Just freaking get high with Snoop.
He's
I
one of
don't know,
those.
man. Like, I remember going to his concert last time he was in. Hey, he was at Blues Fest. The last Blues Fest we had. And I messaged a friend of mine from Toronto, and I was like, I know Snoop's in town. I want to bring him weed. And she's like, okay, cool. So she arranged it. I brought him weed. I didn't meet him. I didn't want to be one of those like people that bring him a gift and be like, can I meet him, please? And I just wanted to give him weed to smoke because I know we had shitty weed here at the time. So I brought him weed, and then I was like, wow, man. And I could see him, like, he was playing PlayStation, like the door opened from the trailer, and he was playing PlayStation, and I was like, and he was like busting up his weed too. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I really want to go meet him. But I would love to go smoke weed with Snoop and just chat
I feel
with
like
him.
he'd be a nice guy.
He'd be super chill. His entourage was so sweet. Like, they were really nice, took care of my brother and I because they brought us backstage and, like, we're chilling with them. I actually had a run-in with Warren G.
I'm crazy.
I was super starstruck. I've never been starstruck in my life, and I was so starstruck. He asked me where the washrooms were, and I was like, huh, what? And then my brother's like, what did he say? I'm like, he's looking for the washrooms. And my brother's like, what the fuck? I'm like, that was so cool.
I actually saw somebody, I want to say it was Tommy Chong, but someone talking about smoking with Snoop and how Snoop like bogarts the joint the whole time.
Wow.
Oh, probably does. I wouldn't, yeah.
No.
No, I'd have my
don't
own.
wanna-
Like I wouldn't share with him.
Like, you're not going to be like, excuse me, Snoop, could you pass the joint, please? You're going to let him smoke as
You're
long
gonna
as
let
he
him
wants to
smoke it. I'd smoke my own. I would just want to have like a conversation with him.
Yeah, fair.
Just
Yeah.
shoot the shit and just
So
get
just
high.
know-
Pick his
yeah.
brain a bit.
It's good to know though, because if we're ever in the context where we might meet Snoop, we'll just bring a lot of joints and everyone just smoke their own.
He smokes blunts, and I think he might have like a personal blunt roller.
I think he would respect
Perfect.
that.
Yeah.
I think if you came in wearing
I
like
think-
a bandolier full of just little joints.
Yeah, but he would get the biggest one. Everyone else would have like a regular blunt, and he would have like a massive blunt. They'd be like, "This one's for you, Snoop."
Special.
Yeah,
Oh, excuse me.
Who
Okay.
would you smoke with? Can I ask you who would you smoke joint with?
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to top Tommy Chong. And
Like that's epic. For sure, he would be in my top 5, 100%.
yeah, smoking with Mike Rita was really fun too. Anytime I smoke with like an epic stoner who's like, known for being a stoner, and that's
stoner,
part
yeah.
of their persona, it's pretty cool. Although ironically, I didn't wear this shirt when I was smoking with Mike because I was high and I forgot.
I would like. I think I watched the. What's that show they
that
did
irony?
on the not the HBO, but the Comedy Central, the roast or something. I think.
Yeah.
I think he was doing the show. I watched that one, but I've never seen him live.
For a Canadian Screen Award.
That's
All
so
the
sick.
people that were
Nice.
involved in that. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys our season 3 question and wrap it up here. I feel like we've been going for a while. I know you guys got to get going eventually. So season 3, we've been asking people. It's kind of morphed, but it's what would you like to do for a living if you could do anything? Like, skip the training, the education, the money that might be involved. Just dream job essentially, and or what did you want to be growing up?
Investigative journalist.
Is what you'd like to be, or what you want to
I
do?
think,
Yet?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
In like really dangerous places. That'd be the coolest job ever.
I love it.
Revealing the truth.
Yeah.
And then getting to go on the TV and being like, coming to you live from like the border of Ukraine. Like,
Oh, so like a news reporter on current events and like.
or like maybe just writing about it, but like
Cool.
you'd be like part detective, part creative,
Like, you would
part world
probably want to write
traveler.
a piece that like would cause some shit.
Yeah, I could like,
Blow the lid
help
on
people.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
it's pretty badass.
Yeah, but there's just a lot of people I think that want that job, and I don't think it pays very well.
It's probably true, unless you're the best of the best.
Yeah, so it was like that was a really like steep hill to climb.
But
So
that's
I
a
was
dream
like,
job.
cannabis store is like a pretty close second though.
Close.
Just
Nice.
get stoned and chill and go to like cool conferences and meet cool people, and yeah,
the
it's
dream.
not a bad job.
No. Me? What would I do? No, I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I was just like, there's too much
Do
reading
it.
for me.
You should be a lawyer.
Like, I'm just
Seems
like,
stressful.
it's fucking stressful. Like that. One of the main reasons why I didn't do it was because it's like, do I want to work for like the court, or do I want to be a defense attorney, or what kind of lawyer do I want to be? But of course, I wanted to be a defense attorney. But I said, I'm like, could I actually like defend actual killers? Like, would I be able to sleep at night?
Yeah.
And I
Do
know
it,
that
Ming.
like I can't, but I want to help people. So like,
Well, you'd
law
have to pick
law
your
was
cases,
always
I guess.
very important. Yeah, that's it. Law was very interesting to me. So anything when it comes to law, like that for sure. But like I don't read too much. It's too much. Sometimes it's complicated.
Sometimes.
I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck's written here. I'm like, I need help.
That's why it'll remain a
Yeah.
dream job.
But yeah,
There
so
you
but
go.
if I could, I'd be like right now, I'd like to be a social worker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You
That's
definitely
what I
want to
like
help
do.
people.
I just want to help people. I like making people happy and just taking care of people.
Yeah, you both seem like very kind people. I'm very happy to have met both of you.
Thank
so
you for
thank
having
you guys
us.
for coming on.
They're
Yeah.
having
This is
us.
very fun. First
is.
podcast.
Yeah.
Normally I
We'll
would
come back
say
anytime.
like plug whatever you need to plug, but I feel like we kind of
503 Rita.
But like
There you
thanks
go,
to
503
Jenna,
Rita.
I'm like, yeah,
Come
thanks
down
to
to the
Jenna.
rabbit
Jenna.
hole. Come
Yeah.
meet us. Hang out.
503. Yeah, that's it. We're grand opening soon, and follow our Instagram page.
Yeah. follow
Oh,
us.
that stuff will all come up when you
Cool.
guys first come on
That's
screen.
it.
It'll be like underneath.
Perfect.
But I guess that's only for YouTube. So the audio listeners, yeah, if you want to tell them
follow our
that stuff.
Instagram. Oh, shit, I'm
Yeah.
having a stoner moment. I can't exactly remember what the handle is. But it's
RABBT hole.
yeah, RABBT hole, rabbit
Rabbit
hole.
hole.
That's it.
I gotta follow that shit. All right. Well, thanks again. And high five
Thank
at
you.
the end is usually
High five.
it's hard
High
across the
five. Yeah,
table.
it's
I
so
don't
weird.
know. Maybe we should lose the high
An
five.
awkward high five.
Anyways,
Awkward.
bye everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.